Imagine a moment when the morning light streams into your room, but with it comes the realization you are completely alone. The silence in the house is broken only by the ticking of the clock, with no calls, no visits, and no familiar laughter echoing through the walls. This isn't just a hypothetical scenario, but a reality faced by many people who have crossed a certain age threshold. But here's what's surprising. Physical solitude doesn't necessarily equate to emotional loneliness. Think about it. You've probably met people in their 70s or 80s who radiate vitality, full of interest in the world and genuine happiness. And at the same time, others seem trapped in a cage of isolation and regret. What underlies this striking difference? It's not just a matter of luck or random circumstances. It's the result of a conscious, daily choice. There are a number of powerful habits that can dramatically change your perception of the aging process, transforming it from a period of decline into an era of flourishing. Whether you live alone now or are just preparing for this stage of life, these habits can be the key that distinguishes feeling invisible and forgotten from feeling fulfilled and self-actualized, simple existence from genuine prosperity. And the most wonderful thing is that you can start incorporating these habits into your life today, regardless of age and circumstances. But what are these magical habits that can transform your life? You'll find out the answer to this question by watching to the end. However, there's one deeply ingrained habit that eludes the attention of many, capable of opening the gates to a life filled with joy and purpose. We're talking about building a daily routine, the foundation upon which a fulfilling existence is built. Imagine waking up when each new day is illuminated by a sense of purpose, when there's a compelling reason to leave your cozy bed and a clear plan of action. Now imagine the complete opposite, a purposeless awakening, devoid of structure, motivation, and clear direction. Which of these lives would you prefer to live? A daily routine isn't just a way to fill time, it's an act of creating meaning. It's the ability to fill each day, no matter how mundane it may seem, with a sense of value. Over time, days tend to merge into a single stream. The absence of work deadlines, family obligations, or a busy social life can lead to a feeling of emptiness. But it's important to remember that a person always retains control over their perception of life. Consider the daily routine as a life rhythm that grounds you, energizes you, and ensures that each day is filled with movement and purpose. The morning routine is of particular importance, capable of setting the tone for the entire day ahead. Waking up at the same time, making the bed, light exercise, a cup of aromatic tea, contemplating the rising sun. These simple actions create a sense of stability, comfort, and normalcy in this ever-changing world. Consider the life path of Robert, a 76-year-old engineer who retired from his career. After the death of his wife, he felt a deep loss and confusion. Silence reigned in his house, and the days dragged on endlessly. He woke up at odd hours, forgot to eat, and spent hours in front of the TV, pondering the transience of time. Loneliness crept in unnoticed, and life seemed to slip through his fingers. However, one day, he made a strong-willed decision to regain control of his own life. Robert began waking up every morning at a set time, taking short walks in the fresh air, preparing his own meals, and planning regular phone calls with his grandchildren. The transformations were striking. His mind became clearer, his body strengthened, and a clear rhythm reappeared in his life. An orderly daily routine has an amazing power. It restores a person's sense of time and fills each day with meaning. It reminds you that time is still at your disposal, and you can shape it as you see fit. Even the simplest habits, such as watering flowers at the same time, journaling before bed, or listening to music in the evenings, can bring a deep sense of peace, joy, and stability. In everyone's life, there are moments when it seems that time is slipping through your fingers, and there is a lack of organization in your daily. Routine. During such periods, it's important to start small in order to regain control of the situation. Try creating a simple plan for the morning, set aside time for your favorite activities, or develop a diet. The key here is not excessive strictness, but having a clear goal. After all, when a person takes responsibility for their time, they thereby take responsibility for their life as a whole. Meaning is restored to existence, time gains value, and each new day becomes an opportunity to fill life with meaningful events. Another crucial aspect is prioritizing physical activity. One of the most common mistakes people make as they age is excessively reducing their physical activity. While the body undoubtedly undergoes changes over time, maintaining physical activity is one of the most effective ways to preserve youth and vitality. This isn't just about maintaining a toned physique, but also about preserving strength, mental acuity, and independence. Cessation of movement leads to a gradual loss of muscle mass, flexibility, and energy, which can negatively affect overall health. But there's good news. You don't have to participate in marathons or engage in weightlifting to stay active. Simply performing simple exercises regularly is enough to feel the positive effects. A short walk, simple gymnastics, or even regular standing and frequent changes in body position can stimulate blood circulation, strengthen the muscular corset, and maintain joint mobility. The goal is to keep the body active so that routine activities, such as getting up from a chair, climbing stairs, or carrying groceries, do not cause difficulty or require excessive effort. A prime example is the story of Eleanor, a 78-year-old former librarian. After retiring, she reduced her activity level, spending more time sitting and less time on her feet. Initially, she didn't feel any negative changes, but over time, basic actions, such as bending over to pick up a dropped object or taking a long walk, became difficult. She attributed this to age-related changes. However, after joining a local hiking club and starting to do simple stretching exercises every morning, she almost immediately felt positive changes. Her energy levels increased, her posture straightened, and even her sleep became deeper and more restful. Physical activity should become an integral part of daily life, not an occasional activity. Even with limited mobility, there are always ways to stay in motion. Seated exercises, water aerobics, or even repeated standing and squatting can help keep the body toned and support normal blood flow. The key is to make movement a habit, just like eating or sleeping. An undeniable advantage of physical exercise is its beneficial effect on the brain. Scientific research convincingly demonstrates that regular physical activity significantly reduces the likelihood of developing cognitive impairment and dementia. During movement, not only is muscle tissue strengthened, but mental clarity is also maintained. Blood supply to the brain improves, stress levels decrease, and mental activity is stimulated. People with sedentary lifestyles are advised to start small, short 5-minute walks, light morning warm-ups, or simple housework that requires movement. The key factor is consistency. The more a person moves, the easier it becomes, and soon they will feel stronger, healthier, and more energetic. Another important aspect of healthy aging is maintaining an active social life. One of the most pressing problems faced by elderly people living alone is the gradual loss of social connections. Friends move away, family members are busy with their own affairs, and it becomes increasingly difficult to get out of the house. However, social isolation poses a serious threat to both mental and physical health. Studies show that loneliness can be as dangerous as smoking or obesity, increasing the risk of developing cardiovascular disease, depression, and cognitive disorders. Loneliness is not an inevitable companion of mature age. Maintaining an active social life is a conscious choice and a beneficial daily habit. Even minor manifestations of social interaction, whether it's a short phone call, a conversation with a neighbor, or a friendly exchange of words in a store, can significantly improve emotional well-being. Human interaction is a basic need, so maintaining social connections should be as high a priority as healthy eating and physical activity. An example is the story of Frank, an 80-year-old widower. After the loss of his wife, he began to spend more and more time alone, whiling away the days watching television and waiting for phone calls. Frank convinced himself that his children were too busy, his friends had their own concerns, and he didn't want to be a burden. However, over time, he began to feel increasingly disconnected from life, and even simple tasks seemed insurmountable. The turning point came when he decided to seek help. Frank started weekly calls with an old friend, joined a local senior citizens club, and even took up online chess. Within months, he felt more energetic, engaged, and involved in life than he had in years. Social engagement isn't just about large-scale events or crowded rallies. It's found in those small but significant contacts that instill a sense of belonging to something larger. Whether it's a short message, inviting a friend for a cup of coffee, or joining a community of interest, the key is to make connection a daily need. Even without close friends or relatives nearby, modern technology offers unprecedented opportunities for maintaining connections. Video conferences, internet forums, and social networks allow people to stay in touch, regardless of geographical boundaries. Many older adults find a sense of unity in online communities, even without the possibility of face-to-face interaction. The world is more connected than ever, and all it takes is a willingness to take the first step. The truth is that loneliness isn't just being alone, it's feeling detached from the pulse of life. And the most effective way to combat this is to make daily efforts to interact with the world around you. The more actively a person reaches out, the easier it becomes, and gradually a circle of people forms, bringing joy, companionship, and new goals into life. It's essential to continually stimulate the brain. A common misconception is that mental activity inevitably slows down with age. It's believed that the decline in cognitive function is a natural part of aging. However, the brain needs constant stimulation to maintain its activity. Like muscles that weaken without exercise, the brain loses its sharpness if it's not engaged. Fortunately, everyone is capable of keeping their mind in shape, maintaining its alertness and curiosity. Regardless of age, maintaining brain activity doesn't require solving complex problems or learning something impossible. It's important to engage in activities that stimulate thinking, open new horizons, and maintain an interest in learning. Reading, acquiring new skills, participating in strategic games, writing, or even meaningful conversations are all ways to keep the mind sharp and strengthen memory. As an example, consider the story of Janet, a 74-year-old former teacher. After retiring, she noticed that she spent her days watching television and felt that her mental activity had declined. She began to forget simple things, such as where she left her keys or what she was going to buy at the store. Concerned about the loss of mental acuity, she made small changes to her lifestyle. Janet resumed reading, started doing crossword puzzles in the morning, and enrolled in online Spanish courses. Within weeks, she felt positive changes. Her concentration improved, she felt more involved in life, and she had new topics to discuss with others. The human brain, like a trained muscle, gains strength and endurance through constant exercise and intellectual challenges. One of the most effective ways to maintain its activity and flexibility is to regularly set new tasks and explore uncharted territories. For example, learning to play a musical instrument can be an excellent workout for the brain, stimulating the creation of new neural connections and increasing its adaptability. No less useful can be mastering a new hobby that requires concentration and a creative approach. Even minor changes in daily routine, such as choosing a new route to work or preparing an unfamiliar dish, can activate the brain and prevent its stagnation. However, maintaining mental activity is important not only for preserving cognitive functions. Active use of the brain also plays an important role in maintaining emotional well-being and preventing feelings of boredom and apathy. In the process of learning, creating, or solving complex problems, a person experiences a sense of satisfaction from the progress made, even if it seems insignificant. This sense of progress, in turn, serves as a powerful stimulus for further development and gives meaning to each day. Along with intellectual exercises, an important element of maintaining brain health and emotional balance is the practice of gratitude and mindfulness. Regularly expressing gratitude for what you have in life helps shift your focus from negative aspects to positive ones, which is especially important as people age and tend to concentrate on losses and problems. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring difficulties, but rather acknowledging the good that still exists in life, even during the most challenging times. A simple daily ritual of reflecting on what you're grateful for can significantly improve your mood, reduce stress levels, and even positively impact your physical health. Scientific research convincingly demonstrates that people who systematically cultivate gratitude experience lower levels of depression and anxiety, enjoy better sleep, and feel a greater sense of purpose in their lives. Notably, this effective method requires no financial investment, is easy to implement, and takes only a few minutes of precious time each day. As a clear example, consider the story of George, a 79-year-old retired firefighter. After the tragic loss of his wife, he increasingly withdrew into loneliness, painfully replaying past days in his memory and feeling that life was gradually losing its meaning. However, a dramatic change occurred when he started keeping a gratitude journal. Every morning, he took the time to write down 3 things for which he felt genuinely grateful. Sometimes these were significant events, such as the infectious laughter of his grandchildren, and sometimes simple joys, such as a cup of aromatic coffee. Gradually, his perception of the world began to change. He still missed his beloved wife, but instead of focusing on the irreplaceable loss, he began to appreciate what he still had. Equally important in finding peace of mind is reflection. Setting aside time each day for silence, deep breathing, and contemplation of your thoughts can help a person feel more centered and peaceful. Whether through prayer, meditation, or simply contemplating the world around you, daily reflection allows you to clear your mind of unnecessary clutter, reduce stress levels, and focus on what truly matters. If you haven't practiced gratitude before, it's recommended to start small. Each morning or evening, take just a minute to reflect on 3 things that made you smile during the day. Perhaps it was a favorite melody, a delicious meal, or a kind word spoken by a stranger. The more a person trains their mind to concentrate on positive aspects, the more natural it becomes to notice bright moments in the routine of everyday life. Inevitably, there are obstacles on life's path, but the feeling of happiness is not determined by external circumstances, but by the personal choice of how to react to them. By making gratitude and self-reflection a daily practice, an individual will find that even in moments of solitude, they do not feel truly alone. An important method of combating loneliness and finding meaning in life is helping others. At first glance, this may seem like a paradoxical suggestion, because in times of depression and isolation, there is a natural desire to focus on one's own needs. However, as practice shows, providing support to others can be a powerful stimulus for finding purpose and joy in life. Help doesn't necessarily have to manifest as large-scale, momentous actions. These can be simple actions: visiting a neighbor, participating in volunteer projects, mentoring the younger generation, or even just a kind word spoken to a stranger. The key is to turn helping into a daily habit, a way to connect with the world and remind yourself of your value, wisdom, and ability to do good. Consider the story of Margaret, an 82-year-old woman who dedicated her life to working as a nurse. After retiring, she faced a sense of losing her life's purpose. Her children had grown up and left home, her social circle was steadily shrinking, and her days were increasingly spent in solitude and without a clear goal. However, Margaret did not allow the feeling of isolation to consume her. She decided to dedicate herself to volunteering at a local food bank. At first, it only took a few hours a week, but soon she began to look forward to each new day. Within the walls of the charitable organization, Margaret found new friends and felt needed. Most importantly, she once again felt a sense of satisfaction with life. This simple act, giving, creates a strong connection between people. It allows you to distract yourself from your own difficulties and shift your attention to changing the world around you, even if only a little. Whether it's a good piece of advice, a listening ear, or simply a sincere smile, helping others reminds you that you are still important and needed in this world. Even if physical limitations prevent you from leading an active lifestyle, there are always ways to give warmth and care to those around you. Writing letters to old friends, mentoring the younger generation online, or simply supporting loved ones are all valuable ways to contribute to the common good. The act of giving fills life with new meaning, supports emotional upliftment, and fills the heart with joy. Living a life filled with purpose is a true art. Lessons of gratitude, reflection, and giving open new horizons for us. Aging is not just a time for rest, it is an opportunity to discover deeper values that fill life with meaning. It is from such small things that a sense of fullness of being is formed. With age, we inevitably face changes in health, shifts in relationships, and unfortunately, losses. However, the key is not what we have lost, but how we perceive and value what remains. One of the cornerstones of a happy life is cultivating gratitude. This is not about ignoring problems or creating an illusion of perfection, but about focusing on the positive aspects that are still present in life. By developing gratitude, a person realizes how much valuable things they have: health, even if not as strong as before, bright memories of loved ones who may no longer be around, or simple joys like a peaceful morning with a cup of fragrant tea. A practical exercise can be to write down 3 things for which a person feels grateful every day. It could be a random smile, a meaningful conversation, or a gentle ray of sunshine breaking through the window. This simple habit not only promotes a positive attitude, but also has a beneficial effect on physical health, reducing stress and improving overall well-being. Along with gratitude, self-reflection plays an important role. With age, people have more time to reflect on past experiences, on lessons learned from ups and downs. However, instead of dwelling on regrets, it is worth focusing on personal growth, on the wisdom that can be passed on to others, and on what truly brings happiness. Setting aside a few minutes each day for quiet reflection, whether it is meditation, prayer, or simply being in silence, helps to gain clarity of mind, reduce anxiety, and develop inner harmony. In addition to taking care of one's inner world, maintaining social connections and helping others is an effective way to find joy and meaning in life. Even small acts of kindness can not only lift the spirits of others, but also bring satisfaction to the person themselves. Visiting a neighbor, participating in volunteer activities, mentoring the younger generation, or simply being a good listener all create a sense of belonging and involvement in society. Older people have invaluable life experience to share. Advice based on years of wisdom can be a guiding star for young people just starting their journey. Aging is not a passive waiting for the finale, but rather an exciting introduction to a new era, enriched by the wisdom of years lived. It is an opportunity to look at the world with a deeper understanding and awareness of the value of every moment. Every day we have a choice to fill our lives with meaning and fullness, enjoying each day lived. Start small, with cultivating simple but effective habits. Learn to appreciate what you already have, whether it is health, family, friends, or simply the opportunity to see the beauty of the world around you. Take time to reflect on what is truly important to you, on your values and aspirations. And, of course, do not forget to share warmth and kindness with others. A small act of mercy can create a real miracle in someone's life. When we incorporate these simple practices into our daily lives, we realize that age is not a sentence, but just a new stage in development. Regardless of the number of years lived, each of us is capable of filling our lives with joy, harmony, and a deep connection with the world. This is a life that is truly worth living. It is important to remember that aging is not a series of limitations, but a kaleidoscope of opportunities. Every new day is a chance to make a choice in favor of satisfaction, joy, and unity with other people. It is in your power to shape your life experience, accepting the present and creating a future filled with meaning and purpose. Start with small steps. Keep your mind active, exercise, practice gratitude, and don't forget about other people. It is these small but important actions that will determine the quality of your tomorrow. Life is a fascinating journey, and even in moments of solitude, you are never truly alone when you prioritize your well-being and strive to build meaningful connections with the world around you. Always maintain an optimistic outlook and greet each day with heartfelt generosity. It's important to cultivate a positive mindset that allows you to see opportunities even in the most challenging situations. An open heart, full of compassion and understanding, will help you establish deep and sincere connections with others, enriching your life experience and bringing joy not only to yourself, but also to those around you.